Have you ever looked around and wondered, is this it? Is this all life has to offer? The same mornings, the same routine, the same silent questions that never get answered? You wake up, but you're not really awake. You go through the day, but you're not really living. You smile when needed, work when expected, keep moving, but inside something feels missing, not broken, just quiet, dormant, waiting, and maybe you've tried to silence that feeling. But deep down, you know you weren't made to just survive, you were made to rise. If that restlessness inside you isn't a sign of failure, but a signal that something greater is calling, what if the discomfort, the boredom, the quiet ache is your soul's way of telling you this is not where it ends? Because life has these moments, powerful silent moments, when something inside begins to shift, moments that don't announce themselves with fireworks, but change everything, moments that whisper, wake up, it's time. Maybe you've forgotten who you are. Maybe you've been carrying too much for too long. Maybe no one ever told you that your story still has chapters waiting to be written. But here's the truth, and it's one you need to hear. You are not stuck. You are not lost. You are not too late. There is a turning point in every life, and this moment right now, could be yours, but only if you're willing to see it. You see, most people wait for their lives to change. They wait for the job they wait. For the job they wait for someone to believe in them. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect moment. But what if that moment never comes? But by design, you're not here to live in fear. You're here to rise through it, to stand in the middle of your struggle and say, this is not the end of me. This is the beginning of who I'm meant to become. You don't get stronger by avoiding the hard moments. You get stronger by walking through them, by facing them, by choosing to believe there's something greater on the other side. So feel it, let the pain teach you, but don't let it trap you. Let it shape your hunger, your fire, your purpose, because the moment you stop running from it is the moment you start transforming through it. And no, it won't be easy, and no, it won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Every scar, every setback, every piece of your story is building something in you that no comfort zone ever could. And if you stay in it, if you refuse to give up now, you'll rise with something unshakable, not just hope, but hunger, not just survival, but strength, not just a wish, and strength, not just a wish for a better life, but a will to make it real. This isn't just about getting through pain. It's about becoming someone because of it. The kind of person who can't be stopped. The kind of person who walks into the fire and comes out with purpose in their eyes and power in their step. That person is in you right now, waiting for you to decide that you're done letting pain control your story, that you're ready to use it, own it, grow from it. You're standing on the edge of something bigger than you've ever known. And the pain you're feeling is the pressure pushing you toward it. Don't turn back. Don't shrink. Don't wait. For permission, you've already walked through what was meant to break you now. Walk into what you were born to build, and you'll look back one day, not in regret, but in awe, because you'll realize that the pain you once feared was actually the moment you started to rise. You've made it through the fire. You felt the pain, and for the first time, maybe you're starting to see it for what it really is. A signal, not a sentence. Now comes the moment most people never recognize, the moment where everything can shift, not because something magical happens, but because you finally understand something powerful. You have a choice, not tomorrow, not when things calm down, not when you feel ready, but right now. You can choose to stay in the loop, to repeat the same patterns, to replay the same doubts, to let fear write your future, or you can decide, enough, this is the truth. Most people never face your life. Doesn't change by chance, it changes by choice. One choice made fully, without apology, without excuse, without waiting for the world to agree with you. You are not defined by your past, not by your failures, not by the labels others gave you, not by the pain that shaped you. You are defined by your decision, and in this moment, you can choose something different. You can choose growth, even when it's uncomfortable. You can choose action, even when you're scared. You can choose belief, even when everything around you says you shouldn't. That's power. That's freedom, because the truth is, you're not stuck. You're just standing at a crossroads, and the path you take next, it's yours. No one is coming to save you. But that's not a reason to fear, it's a reason to rise. Because you have something inside you more powerful than any excuse, stronger than your fear, more real than your doubt. You've always had it. But now's the time, EK, to use it, make the choice to change, to take the step to walk forward, even if your legs shake to move, even if your heart races to believe, even if your mind argues, because change doesn't happen when things get easy. It happens when you choose to keep going, even when it's hard. And yes, it will be hard, But staying the same is harder. Regret is harder. Living with a life unlived, that's the real weight. The moment you stop letting your emotions dictate your direction and start letting your values lead your actions, everything begins to shift. You don't need a full plan. You just need to decide that you're done being the person who waits, done waiting for motivation, done waiting for the perfect time, done waiting for something outside of you to change what only you can, the life you want, the strength you crave, the purpose that calls you. It's all on the other side of one decision, not a giant leap, not some dramatic moment, just a simple internal shift that says, I choose more, I choose growth, I choose to stop letting my past hold my future hostage. You have the right to that choice, you always have. And now, right now, you have the chance to make it not with force, not with fear, but with quiet strength, the kind that says, this is where I rise, and nothing, no doubt, no voice, no fear will stop me from becoming who I was meant to be. This is your turning point, but only if you choose it. You've felt the pull, you've faced the pain, and you've stood at the edge of decision. Now comes the great decision, now comes the shift that changes everything, because once you choose to rise, to stop living on autopilot, to stop letting the past dictate your direction, you awaken something deeper than motivation. You awaken purpose, not the kind of purpose that sounds good in a quote, the kind that burns, that drives, that won't let you be. You go back to sleep, there's a reason, you're still breathing, a reason, you're still here, a reason. You feel that voice inside you whispering there's more for you than this, and it's not some distant calling, it's here. It's now, it's woven into every step you take forward. Purpose doesn't always arrive with clarity. Sometimes it comes with conviction, a quiet fire that says, I don't know exactly where I'm going, but I know I'm not staying here. You don't need a map, you need movement, because purpose reveals itself in motion and discipline, in getting up when you don't feel like it, and saying yes. To growth, no. To waited and saying yes. To growth, no. To comfort and never again to settling. There's power in a person who decides to stop waiting for their life to change and start showing up like it already. As that's what purpose does. It shifts your identity. It takes you from hoping to becoming, from doubting to doing, from surviving to building, and from surviving to building. And the most dangerous person in the world is not the one with talent, not the one with perfect plans. It's the one who has decided, the one who moves with intention, even through fear, even through failure, because that person is unstoppable. That person doesn't need motivation. They've got meaning. And when life for the key with gets hard, they don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, what is this shaping in me? That's who you're becoming right now, not tomorrow. Not later. You've already felt the shift, already stood in the fire, already chosen the harder path. Now let purpose take over. Let it guide how you show up, how you speak to yourself, how you treat your time. Let it fuel the way you move through every single every single. This isn't about hype. It's about becoming, and becoming requires everything: your energy, your discipline, your commitment, your belief. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be real. You need to be honest enough to say, I want more, and brave enough to go after it, because life won't hand it to you, but it will respond to your hunger. And when you walk with purpose, doors start to open, not because the world changes, but because you do. This is your moment, not just to feel inspired, but to feel aligned, to feel alive. And once you taste that, once you remember what it feels like to move with meaning, you'll regard. You'll like it. Never trade that for comfort again. This is more than a decision. This is identity. This is legacy. And it begins the moment you say, I'm done drifting. I'm done shrinking. This is who I am now. Purpose isn't something you find. It's something you become. And today you are becoming unstoppable. You've stepped unstoppable. You've stepped into purpose. You've tasted what it feels like to move with intention, to no longer chase meaning, but to live it now. The challenge is staying awake, because even after the decision is made, even after the fire is lit, there will be voices trying to pull you back. Voices of doubt, voices of fear, voices that sound a lot like comfort disguised as logic. They'll say you've done enough, that maybe you should slow down, that maybe it's safer not to want so much, not to try so hard, not to risk the purpose, to risk this. No, but hear this, safety is not the goal. Growth is, and growth will never feel safe. You weren't built for comfort. You were built to stretch, to rise, to carry weight. Others won't, to live a life so full of conviction that mediocrity becomes painful, because once you've seen who you could be, you can then sit down, be you. You can never go back to pretending you're less than that. The world will keep spinning. People will keep settling. Time will keep moving. But You've changed, you've crossed a line you can't uncross, you've stepped into a version of yourself that demands more not from the world, but from you. This version doesn't quit on hard days, doesn't shrink when it's uncertain, doesn't wait for signs, it becomes the sign. And this is where the real transformation happens, not in a single decision, but in the thousand silent ones that follow when you show up anyway, when you get back up without applause, when you chase excellence. In a world addicted to average, this is where power is built in the quiet, in the unseen, and the uncomfortable. Because greatness isn't about what people see, it's about who you become. When no one's watching, the small wins, the early mornings, the moments where you could quit. Foundation is laid, that's where your future is built. And if you keep showing up, if you keep choosing discipline over distraction, growth over comfort, vision over convenience, you'll become something unshakable. Not perfect, but unstoppable, because success is never about one moment. It's about momentum, and about momentum. You're building it right now, one choice, one action, one day. At a time. You don't need to have it all together. You just need to keep moving forward, to keep becoming, to keep walking in the direction of who you were born to be. That's how everything changes. That's how you win, not by waiting, not by hoping, but by staying the course long after the feelings fade. This is your reminder that you didn't come this far to stop here. You came this far to go further than you've ever gone. And you will, because the person you are now is not the same one who started this journey. This person is focused. This person is focused. This person is committed. This person is ready, not someday, but right now, not when it's easy, but because it's worth it. This is who you are now, and the world will feel the weight of that decision, because nothing is more powerful than a person who decides to never go back.